Okay, Assalamu alaikum. I'm here with Shabir Yusuf, and I'm here on Speaker's Corner. And Shabir Yusuf is a da'i who has been doing this for 20 years in Hyde Park. As you know, with Speaker's Corner, people from different faiths, different beliefs come and talk. And inshallah, it's about giving something to people like an alternative to their life. And we're going to ask Shabir Yusuf a few questions, inshallah. And we'll take it from there. So what is it about Speaker's Corner that pulls you to it?
Well, primarily the fact that when we come to Speaker's Corner, we actually come across people from all over the world. That is one of the primary reasons. Apart from that, the initial stages, we were actually requested to come because there were problems that the Muslim brothers were facing with some of the Christian friends. So we initially came for those purposes, to talk to the Christian brothers and also the Muslim brothers and see that, look, there's much that can be discussed, there's much that you can understand. But when we came, we realized that the audience here is quite varied, and we decided rather that coming here at least once a month will be beneficial, not only for us, but also for the spreading of the message.
So how did this inspire you? Was it like you just came to Speaker's Corner and you thought, you had a light bulb idea, thought this is something I could do, and how did it get the ball rolling?
Yeah, absolutely. Just as you were suggesting, when we initially came, yes, we had a look around and realized, yes, this is a good place to come, yes, especially when we are talking to people. As a Muslim, we know that our job is to impart the message. Thereafter, it is up to the Creator. Yes, if we are going to speak to somebody, just as an example, we had come here and I was speaking to someone, and this fellow came and started speaking to me, and he told me, he says he was actually from New Zealand. So we had a brief chat about Islam and left it at that. But we exchanged email addresses, and off he went. And I didn't expect to hear from him, but after a few months, he contacted me. Okay. He says he had been doing a lot of study, a lot of reading about Islam, and he seems to find that it makes sense to him. But he will keep me posted. Now, so once I realized that, and the rest of the brothers, we realized that, look, it is worth coming here to spread the message, and that's what really initially motivated us.
Now, Shabir, I understand you're from Blackburn, so
yes.
I mean that's what you call dedication. So, how did you become so dedicated in this field of work? I mean, what kind of triggered this off then? You've always been like into this kind of persuasive kind of argument, kind of discussion, debates.
Yes, definitely. But at the initial stages, and when I used to look at what Islam says, and in all honesty, sometimes you come across a situation in life where you think, okay, what am I here for? What is all this about? Okay, and it's one of those, call it a light bulb moment. Okay, right. When that happened to me, I decided, okay, let me see what the Quran has to say. Oddly enough, when I started doing that, I somehow came to this ayah or the verse in the Quran where it says, when the Christians and the Jews make claims, yes, ask them for proof. Okay. And I got stuck there. I thought, why is he talking about proof? Okay, because when you are growing up, you have this understanding that it was said, that's why you have to believe it. But this was giving me a different picture altogether. And at that time, the mindset was, okay, let's see how good it really is. And you take up the challenge. But when you do that, you start realizing there were many things which then point you towards other things, Christianity, Hinduism, pretty much all subject.
So has your upbringing, has that played a role in the way that sometimes parents, they kind of, if parents are like that, they're into politics and things like that, and you get into that kind of...
No, but thankfully, we are 7 brothers.
Wow.
So we were always going to discuss something and agree to disagree. Yes, and most of the time disagree over matters. But it basically gave you that situation where you had to deal with it, and in relation to mom and dad, my parents, theirs was a very simple outlook. you are a Muslim, try and keep to the salah. Don't get involved into any unnecessary issues. Now, do you know when the Salman Rushdie affair occurred? My father knew that I used to talk to anybody and everybody.
Okay.
Yes, people used to come at home and I would start with them. And he told me one day, he says, look, you are not going to carry on like this. Okay. I said, okay, fine. But then I got a call from the BBC to take part in a program. It used to be called Every Man.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I think I've heard of that.
Yes.
They don't do that anymore.
No, they don't.
With the intro was like the man.
That's
and the
correct.
circle.
Yes.
Right.
And,
Right. Okay.
yeah. So I actually took part in that program. And
you thought you could do this?
No.
This is it.
To me, I had to respect the wishes of my father.
Okay.
But at the same time, I was quite argumentative, and I would take him up on it. I would tell him, "Why are you saying no?"
That's brilliant.
But then
stuff,
this program was aired on TV, and when he saw, he realized, and he gave me permission thereafter.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead, yes, whatever you need to do. But please restrict it to the outside. Don't start with my friends in the house.
Okay.
Yeah, so they had a very simple view of it.
Okay, I mean, you've been a public speaker of Hyde Park on and off, I think, for more than 20 years or something, is it?
Approximate.
Yeah, so have you seen any changes in that time on how the public view Islam?
You know, in all honesty, what I have seen on a personal level, I haven't seen any of the kind of negativity that a lot of people have experienced. Yeah, every so often you do get these people who will come in front of you, say a few harsh words, okay, and just walk away. Many a times when they say things, I will pull them up on it. I'll say, look, let's try and discuss it. There have been times, thankfully, where they have come very hard, very sternly. And once you engage with them, they realize they had the wrong end of the stick.
But do you think that
generally, I haven't actually seen a kind of change where it is visible.
But do you think the thinking is a bit different? Like, for example, if you take the timeline on the Salman Rushdie and now, for example, what's this so-called Iraq that's been going on for a long time, so people are maybe more inquisitive now. Do you think that's kind of changed rather than before with Salman Rushdie or freedom of speech and all that? You know?
Definitely it has. But it's not only that. We also have a lot of Muslims now who are vocal, but intelligently vocal about issues, okay? So
it's about media training or...
A bit like that, yes. But it's not only that. At the end of the day, the changes that we are going to see are merely allowing people to find out more about Islam. That is what I have seen. Yes, the more negative it is, the more positive it becomes. Yeah. So, but in the context of people engaging with me, I have to admit that it has been very rare when this situation has occurred. Yeah.
So, I mean, I've noticed on your video, is it all revelations?
All truth revealed.
All truth revealed.
Yes.
You've got. I've noticed in your YouTube video two approaches in debating Christians. You've got. Sometimes you become a vocal member of the audience and then you bring them in, and other times you have a one-to-one. I mean, do you find one approach effective more than the other, or
the one-to-one approach is the most effective?
Because with one-to-one, sometimes people join in, and sometimes that can be difficult to.
I, in all honesty, I don't find it difficult at all. Even if it means that I'll be talking at any one time with 5-6 different people.
All right.
Yes, alhamdulillah, I have no problem with that. So I don't, but where you are talking to somebody and then you want to draw them in, okay, that works to a certain extent. But there are many a time where the guy will talk to you, but as soon as he finds difficulty, he just doesn't respond to you anymore. So you have to walk away. But the one-to-one approach is the most effective that I have.
Okay, I mean, I've seen your recent videos. I mean, this is June 2014.
Yes.
People have accepted Islam, or they kind of.
Yes,
so how do you know when someone is ready to accept Islam, or what signs are you looking for?
When we are talking to people, in particular me, when I'm talking to them, my method has always been to take the reasonable approach until they themselves cannot deny their own reasoning.
Right.
That is when I know that, look, the individual is at that stage where he must be given the opportunity to consider Islam. Yeah, it is always that. But there are times when you will say a few words and the person suddenly realizes, you know what, you are right, and I accept. We have just had, by the grace of Allah, just last week we received a message from someone in America who said to us that having seen your videos, it has convinced me Islam is the truth. and he is now prepared to take the Shahada.
MashaAllah, alhamdulillah.
So Alhamdulillah.
It's amazing.
It's amazing, yeah.
It's amazing,
Yeah, I don't know him. I've never spoken to him. But as a result of these videos that we have put up on All Truth Revealed, that channel on YouTube, he's actually mailed us to tell us that this is what he wants to do.
I mean, it must be an amazing experience when someone in front of you embraces Islam. So, describe your feeling when someone accepts Islam. And do you get emotional? Have you ever got emotional? Or you feel?
You know, in all honesty, I will tell you, I become very glad that they've accepted.
Is it something like a release on your heart or something that just?
I just feel glad because to me it is okay. Alhamdulillah, this brother or this sister is accepted. Let's move on to the next person. And I will tell you, there are times when what you call the emotional element does play its part. A very quick example is of a brother who came into the workplace one day. He was a salesman, and he just happened to see a board on which was written about the Prophet Muhammad by Lamartine. So he read it and he says, "Who is this?" Okay. So we told him who it was. As a result of which, he started coming to ask question after question after question. After about 3.5 months of asking many questions, he embraced Islam. And sadly, 2 weeks after, he passed away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, there was that emotional element, yeah. But Alhamdulillah, there are many brothers who have accepted Islam, and it's just been very happy, yeah. Once everything is settled for them, move on.
I mean, there's one thing about the revert Muslim community have is that sometimes the support is lacking. Absolutely. So sometimes, what do? Do you just give them the Quran, or do you give them there's support services out there?
No. Alhamdulillah, I'll tell you what.
Sometimes people can get lost,
Absolutely, you are absolutely right. When we used to do it, there were no support services. Yeah, well, we had the brothers who embraced Islam, who would make sure that they are okay. Yeah, keep an eye on them, refer them to other organizations that may be able to assist them. But the way there should be a support system, it was not there then. Alhamdulillah, now we have actually got access to places where they have got the network set up. So Alhamdulillah, now it is easier, but at that time, no, it wasn't.
I mean, do you feel that kind of is changing? Because some people used to say that some reverts are treated like second-class citizens, and maybe we kind of easy. We've done all the hard work, they embrace Islam, and then we let them go.
Absolutely, no. I entirely agree with you. There have been many brothers and sisters who have actually discussed this matter, and they did raise that concern that once they've embraced Islam, they may have been completely outcasted by their family, and they feel alone. Yeah. So you're absolutely right. But Alhamdulillah, developments have taken place. Support units, systems are being put in place.
So Alhamdulillah, we're moving forward, inch by inch.
Definitely we are. But I also add to that the fact that as Muslims, yes, we were quite, and still are to a certain extent, quite disparate. Okay? We are human beings. We all have to live a life. Yes? The more we cooperate, the more better it is for everybody around. Yeah? Today we face many issues like, say, the drugs problem. Yes? It is endemic amongst the Muslim community. Sadly, there is an issue. It can only be dealt with on a collective basis.
But you need all the people to come together, different organizations.
Exactly. And that is what I'm referring to. That there is an element of disparateness, but inshallah, the effort is there, and I'm sure we will get over those problems.
I mean, do you, just to go on what you do here, I mean, do you feel heckling a speaker is counterproductive to your work in Dawah? Because I've noticed sometimes in Dawah, you kind of, in some of the YouTube videos, you kind of just, is that just for the audience to get them thinking, or?
It's very rare that I would entertain this kind of approach, but there are times when I will do it, but I don't do it as a reaction, okay? An emotional reaction to what the speaker has said. I will actually say it fully knowing that one of the gentlemen around me or ladies is going to pick up on what I'm saying, and once that particular speaker is not interested, then
you try to bring them in.
They will come in. Yeah.
All right. I mean, is there any most memorable, funny moment or anything that you want to share? Or that you
Here
feel
in Hyde Park?
Hyde Park, yeah, or
In Hyde
something that
Park.
you've spoken to, and you think this guy, you can't get him to convince your argument, and then suddenly, you say something, and then he realizes that, what he thought was just a bit silly.
There are many instances. I'll tell you one of the funniest ones is where there was this atheist. This was before I think we started recording, where he continually kept on saying how his position was right. All the while he never realized that what was about to be discussed is going to completely overturn everything.
Right.
So when we got to that stage and I introduced that element, he suddenly stopped. And I mean completely stopped. And he made the admission, he said, you know what, I feel it like a complete prat.
Right.
I said, why? I don't intend that to happen. He says, because I've just realized I got it wrong up to today. I mean, if you could look at his face.
Because sometimes when people do that, you don't want to belittle them as well, but at the same time you want to kind of
absolutely
bring them in. Yeah.
Sometimes, you see, the prophetic way is the best way and the most effective. I would never intentionally want to belittle anybody, no matter how offensive they are with me. But there are instances sometimes where you have to say something for them to realize the error of their ways. And I'm saying this on a logical and evidential footing. And then you have to say certain things. You've got to tell them it's mine. You've got to tell them that, look, that's not how it is. If they don't understand, sometimes you have to bring out the thing that they most hate. And you've got to say it, but only in a nice way. You don't want to be sounding even
condescending or
exactly.
Anything. No. I mean, I've noticed that there's probably one other brother apart from yourself that gives regular dawah here in Hyde Park. Do you think that maybe we're not as an ummah that kind of coming forward in this kind of work here, or are we afraid, or is it political, the media kind of like putting us thinking differently, or I mean, how?
No. Do you know?
What is it?
The way I look at it, okay, it's not an easy task. You
got to know your stuff.
Exactly, it's not easy. I mean, we all have to get on with our lives. Yes, like I say, I'll give you my humble example. I can give. I can't give anybody else's. If you are going to be coming and engaging here, okay, you are going to have to be aware of all the current known facts. And you have to continually update yourself.
That's right.
That is not an easy task. Sometimes you can read an article and think, yes, you haven't realized there's another article that has come and overturned this one. It's a very, very difficult task. But alhamdulillah, what I have actually seen is that now there seems to be a lot of awareness amongst the Muslim brothers and sisters about how important the task is of inviting people.
I mean, you've got quite. I mean, obviously, in this kind of work, you have to know the Bible and things like that.
Yes,
so, is it something you just kind of self-taught yourself, or you went to a Christian who's learned and tried to?
No, all self-taught.
Right. Was it like meeting a priest and getting like an introduction? How did it all start from?
Well, like I said,
Jehovah's Witness knock on the door and it started from there, or?
No. Like I said, when I actually initially started, it was actually a personal issue that led me to this. Right. Okay, but when I started, as I said about the verse in the Quran, when I started discussing that, I was one day sat with my brothers and I started talking to them and telling them, look, I am wanting to discover about the Bible. And it was alien at that time. We were taught in school not to even touch the Bible. Yes, and here I am saying I want to. And my elder brother, he says to me, he says, look, is that what you want to do? I said, yes. He says, well, if that is the case, then I think you need to hear this old man from South Africa. Okay. I said, hey, who is that? He says, his name is Ahmed Didat. Okay.
The godfather of the...
Well, my brother is telling me, and he's saying, well, everything you want to know about it, I'm sure he'll be able to. I said, well, in that case, it restricts the amount of research I may have to do, which is a good thing. And I picked up one of his videos. I found it from somewhere, looked at that, and I thought, well, he's got all this information, found more and more and more. And then one day, I was just sat at home, and my brother tells me, look, there's a poster here about some program taking place in a local community center in Blackburn. And he's talking about this. I said, well, I'm going down. I went down. and I found Brother Muhammad Ali there.
Okay.
And our association began from there until today,
Mashallah.
alhamdulillah.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's great.
so
Yeah.
in effect...
You just don't know
yes,
where it can lead you. So
absolutely.
alhamdulillah,
So when I decided to undertake that research, my brother told me about the late Sheikh Ahmad Didat, took up his, and the rest, as they say, is history.
yeah, mashallah, it's great stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, just to quickly touch on that, when you said about that we're, as a ummah, we're not that inclined to read the Bible. Is it because there's a fear factor
Yes.
among parents that they might go away from the deen?
Yes,
But
there is,
as I say, with the truth, if the truth is there, and you, as a parent, you teach them Islam as well.
Absolutely.
Then, do you think that maybe we should maybe look into that then?
Definitely we need to, but it is not only that. I can also understand the concerns they may have. Yes, you know, as an example I will give you, I was talking I was at my cousin's house, and their cousins turned up through the wife. Okay, so we were discussing about Islam, and I asked them, I said, do you believe in the theory of evolution? Yes. I said, okay, do you believe in Adam and Eve? Yes. And you can tell, yes, what is being taught, what they've understood, yes, is coming together. Now, as soon as you start asking questions, you realize you can detect suddenly there's a fear, there's a worry about what they may say. Now, I am quite radical in this particular issue, yes. My view is very, very clear. As a Muslim, you must not be afraid to ask any question. You must not be afraid to test anything, okay? But do it in the best and most reasonable way. Because we have to agree that we are all subjected to certain things which we will have understood to be true, only subsequently to find, well, they weren't entirely as true as they were.
Do you think we've got this mindset of like when it's someone who doesn't know about Islam, it's like we say, yeah, ask us anything, but when it's our own children or whatever, it's like, oh no, why are you asking us?
Absolutely.
We have that kind of
Yes,
double-edged.
yes, there is a problem, yes, but the consistency has to be developed. Yeah, my view is very, very simple. If the Creator is telling us in the Quran, this is the truth, yeah, then anything that we come across, we can investigate, because we know that we have a yardstick. But the yardstick itself needs to be understood primarily. If you don't understand the yardstick, you are going to have great difficulty establishing whether this fits in with the way you understand life to be.
True. Yeah. Okay, Jazakallah Shabir Yusuf, appreciate your time, and all the best inshallah, and may Allah make it easy for you and keep it going.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
Inshallah.
mashallah. Assalam.